Okay, so for this question, the whole is mainly they are testing you on chord job. Okay, the difficult part is actually in the explanation. Then subsequently, it won't be so difficult. It's more technical after that. Okay, and this question is based on cut. So the moment you have they mention a geometrical shape, you should target a lot of things based on the property of cut. So if you need to, you should go and refresh on the property of cut. So one of the most common property will be a cut is actually made out of two isosceles triangle. So in this question, they also tell you that this and this are equal, and they also tell you the other one, AD is equal to DC. So you should be able to see that a kite is made out of two isosceles triangle. So they are different sizes, but they are isosceles triangle. So you see that a kite is made out of two isosceles triangle, and then the diagonal will cut at 90 degrees. So that's one of the property of a kite. So basically, we are going to make use of the property to explain. This is a 2 marks question, but I'm giving quite a very detailed explanation. So if you cannot be writing so much, the essential one, I will let you know. Okay, so the more critical one is to realize that they actually gave you some length. So you are told that this is 4 units, and because of the coordinates, you know that this one is 2 units, and subsequently you also know that this is 2 units. So based on this observation, I will know that this one is a perpendicular bisector. So based on this observation, so there's also a 90 degree here. The 90 degree comes from the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x-axis and the y-axis will always be perpendicular. So because of these two properties, I conclude that it is a perpendicular bisector. So the purpose of the perpendicular bisector is to understand that this is an isosceles triangle. So because of this perpendicular bisector, it will lead me to an isosceles triangle, and I'm going to add on the 90 degree that comes from the cut. So basically, I use the 4 unit to break it down, and then I also make use of the 90 degree from the y-axis and x-axis. So there are two properties that makes perpendicular bisector. So these two properties tell us that OP is a perpendicular bisector. And because of that, then I will form an isosceles triangle here. So the isosceles triangle is important because with the type 90 degree and the isosceles triangle, I actually can work out a 45 degree. So in fact, right, there is also another 45 degree. And by the property of a cut, this will also be a 45. So if you continue from the 45, you actually already show that this is a 90 degree. So it's important to show that that is a 90 degree, because once you show that that is a 90 degree, then BC will be parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so but I use another way also, because the question tells us that these two are isosceles. Okay, the question tells us that these two are the same length, meaning the 45 degree will also be applicable here. So I make use of the two corner of 45 degree, and I make use of the angle sum of triangle to calculate that this is a 90 degree. So once I calculate that is a 90 degree, that means BC is horizontal. BC is horizontal, that's why it's parallel to the x-axis. So we are using the property of a kite, the 90 degree at the middle, and then also same length, then we can deduce something like perpendicular bisector. Okay, and then after this, the next part, they actually ask you for the coordinate. So then we continue to make use of the length. So if this OB is 2 units, then this part should be 0 minus 2. And then we know that this is 4 units. So this one will be 4 minus 2. So you can go through the idea. Okay, you can tell the coordinates, and then it's only 1 mark. So you can give it direct as well. Okay, so eventually you got the coordinate. Okay, the next one is the one that some students will get stuck. They will give you the area of a kite, and your job is to go and find the coordinate of D. So area of a kite will lead you to think about shoelace. So if you want to try shoelace, it will be all right. But some students feel a bit insecure trying shoelace with unknown coordinates. So what we can do is we can set up the unknown coordinates. Okay, so I didn't use the shoelace method. Okay, I explained to you my method. Then subsequently, you can try the shoelace if you want to. I can show you. Okay, so basically I'm splitting the area of the kite into a triangle. So the whole area is 28. So I actually try to split into half. If the whole kite is 28, that means, right, I'm just going to narrow down to this part. So this area will be 14 unit square. So I narrow down to a triangle. And if you turn your paper around, you can see this is a kind of like slanted triangle where the height is outside. So that means, right, the base here is 4 units. And then this is my height. So to me, it's something like half times base times height. That will give me a 14. I can actually calculate the horizontal length of K. I can calculate the horizontal length of K. So that's what I did. So I calculated the horizontal length of K. That means it should be 7. So that means, right, I'm expecting. So if I can calculate K to be 7, that means the coordinate will be 7 something. So that is my idea. So I'm trying to use triangle instead. So I will do a half time base on height. From here, I already can tell the x coordinates of the triangle, of the x coordinate of D. Then subsequently, I'm going to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So this is the perpendicular bisector of AC. So I'm going to find BD as the perpendicular bisector of AC. So that's what I did. Okay, I find BD. I find BD, taking it as a perpendicular bisector of AC. So these are the steps that I follow, the standard steps of a perpendicular bisector, so that I can get the equation of BD. And once I get the equation of BD, and I know that the x coordinate is 7, I just need to put in the x coordinate. So I will get a 7, 5. So let's say you are using area, you are using shoelace, you will be a bit more troublesome because you will have 2 unknown in your shoelace, but you will still need the perpendicular bisector to create the simultaneous. So I will think that this one is an easier method. Okay, so if you want to, the shoelace will look something like this. I never tried the shoelace. So honestly speaking, I never tried the shoelace. Okay, you can still do the area thing. You can still do the area, the triangle, then you try to find the x coordinate to be 7. If you do that, it helps in your shoelace. So let's say I'm going to be doing a shoelace. So how will my shoelace look like? It will be something like half. And then it will be, remember, you need to go anti-clockwise. So it's 0, 2, then 0, minus 2, 4, minus 2, and then 7y. And then remember to repeat. So if you do the shoelace for the full cut, you should get a 28. Okay, so if you are doing shoelace, after you do the area of triangle, after you find the x coordinate of D, it might not be so bad. Okay, but you will feel insecure. So what do you do with the half? You can multiply by 2 on both sides. So you multiply by 2 on both sides before you do the shoelace. And you get a 56. Then you start doing your shoelace. You will get 4y, then plus 14, then 0, 0, then you're going to minus 14, minus 8, and equal to 56. So you can try doing this. Let me do a quick calculator. 28, then plus 20. So 56 minus 20 divided by 4. I think I'll make some careless mistake. 14 plus 14 plus 8. Okay, so the careless mistake is this part. It should be 36. Okay, let me try to find. And you will get a 5. So the y coordinate will be a 5. So you can do by a shoelace method, which a lot of people will think of it. But if you just purely do shoelace, it doesn't work because your shoelace will have 2 unknown. So you got to find something to get 1 unknown done first, then you can do your shoelace. So some people will do shoelace and then do a simultaneous with the perpendicular bisector also. I find that it's a bit long. So it'll be much easier if you do the triangle, get the x coordinate first, and then you see whether you want to proceed with the perpendicular bisector or you can proceed with the shoelace.